Looking for the best place to shop this Mother's Day? Go with the brand that makes it easy to send something thoughtful to everyone on your list. 1-800-Flowers.com. Right now at 1-800-Flowers, order 1 dozen roses and get another dozen free. More flowers mean more smiles, all backed by the quality, attention to detail, and trusted delivery experience that make 1-800-Flowers my top choice to send something beautiful Mom will love. Make Mom's Day at 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
Welcome to Lanterns Live, the only live stream YouTube channel dedicated solely to the Green Lantern universe. I'm Ralph, and today I'm discussing Green Lantern 34 with Will, who is back after 2 months?
It's been a bit.
Okay, so before we get into Green Lantern 601, what were your thoughts? Because you were busy. And by the way, congratulations on the wedding.
Thank you so much.
I hope you had a nice, relaxing trip. But, man, Green Lantern 600 came out like right when you were in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Your life was on a high, and then this issue came out, the 600. How did that go for you? What do you think of Green Lantern 600?
Yeah, so I was in the back of a car feeding a baby a bottle as we were making a 7.5 to 8 hour drive down to Florida for our wedding, and just prepping for that, being around family, a lot of people around. Vacation for me, like a good vacation, is like 3 days.
Yeah,
we were there for like 10. We did like the wedding, spent some time with the family, and then when they left, we took the kids to Disney, had a great time. I did not get conned into spending a bunch of money, just the bunch of money to get in. Yeah. And just we had a blast. But yeah, I was like reading in the back of a car, and I get motion sick, so I'm like 2 pages at a time on my phone, and then being like, oh, I can't read for the next 45 minutes. Get the phone out of my face, then come back for 2 more. I was trying real hard to be around on time so that we could do the show. And then when you were like, I've got Vactor coming on, we'll be okay. And I was like, okay, that's one thing. Not just me. But,
I wanted zero pressure. I didn't need to add stupid Green Lantern pressure to you. Not that Green Lantern is stupid. I don't want Grant Morrison to come after me saying Green Lantern's stupid. Yeah, but in this grand scheme of things, like talking about Green Lantern 600, although it was a pretty fun book, like, it was like literally no pressure on you.
I was happy reading it. I felt like I was reading, obviously it's a bigger issue, but I felt like I was reading 3 separate issues of Green Lantern stories happening, like the stuff with Kyle and then the stuff with Hal. And it just, to me, it was like the way that it was broken up and went throughout. I really enjoyed all that. I like that. For me, even though it's taken longer for Hal to go through his stuff, I'm still happy we haven't got to that conclusion yet. Mm-hmm. And it kind of rolls over into this issue, where I've seen some like feedback online that people think that this issue starts slow for Kyle on Earth. But like, you've got to do that. When you're handing the keys to Kyle, you kind of show us he's not going to come out day one and it's like the hardest day for a Green Lantern ever. You show him kind of going through the day-to-day. And then on the flip side, you have Hal still going towards his conclusion of what's happening with his story before you give Kyle the significantly like more pages. But I thought 600 was great. I really enjoyed a lot of the art that was in it, the coloring, the spots where we had like the big color panels that I'm always a sucker for. Right. But just, anything I read with Kyle where Kyle's doing well or he's getting more or whatever, like, I'm a big fan of any of that. I was going to ask you, they're out there in California.
Yeah.
Do you ever, like, you open up a page and you're like, hey,
that exactly where they were.
Yeah. I was like, that's got to be crazy.
When they said they were on the 405 in Santa Monica, I have friends, like 20 years ago, maybe not 20 years, like 15 years ago, that lived off that off-ramp. I went off that off-ramp, turned left. It's right there is the New Art Theater, where we go see midnight movies and stuff. A great little theater. And then you go up a little bit and it was on the right. Like, I knew exactly where they were. And so for me, like, when I did the Instagram story promoting this episode, I put I Love LA, even though I'm not the biggest fan of that song. And I don't know if I necessarily love LA, but I'm like, it feels right for that cover.
It does.
It
does
right
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dude, like, listen, I grew up in LA County, just south of LA proper. And so, like, yeah, I always liked the fact that, again, I talk about how, like, I connected with Kyle when he came out because he wasn't a jet pilot. He wasn't an architect, marine, or whatever the fuck guy is. So for me, when Kyle came out, not only was it, he was roughly my age, maybe a couple years older than me at the time, black hair, liked to draw, had a bit of a sarcastic, smart wit, lighthearted guy, lived in Los Angeles. Like that Los Angeles part of it made it even feel closer to me. You know, the Coast City Angels, I think, appeared in an issue in the 90s. And like, I lived near Angel Stadium, and I remember seeing the big A in the pages of Green Lantern growing up. So it's one of those things where I'm like, it's kind of nice. I feel like with Marvel, you definitely get an East Coast bias where, like, if you live in New York, like, you gotta love Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Like, everybody lives in Queens or Hell's Kitchen or wherever.
Hell's Kitchen, yeah.
And all that stuff. Like, people know where that is. For me, I didn't know Hell's Kitchen was a real place.
Yep.
I thought it was a made up. Of course, the Daredevil lives in Hell's Kitchen. Like, I assumed it was a made up place, like Coast City. So for me, like, it was like, okay, cool. Like, I knew Coast City was on the West Coast, and I've known, like, Edwards Air Force Base. We used to go to air shows down to Edwards Air Force Base. I had a cousin, like a second cousin or uncle, who was more like an uncle, like, was stationed at Edwards Air Force Base. I went there. I sat in was it F-4 Phantom?
Okay.
Like, as a kid, like, I got to sit in the cockpit. So for me, like all the California stuff, like, gets me excited because it's like, I feel like everybody is in cool places. And, like, no one's in California except for Hal Jordan and Kyle Rayner, which makes me very, very happy. So yeah, like, that aspect of it, I really appreciate. I'm going to bring up this thing here. Ian Hart says, Ralph, you need to use that Getting Lost cred to get an exclusive interview with Damon Lindelof for Lanterns Live. Okay, so what he's referring to is something that I talked about before this show. If you were here for the live stream, you got to see that portion where I talked about, or Will and I talked about Damon Lindelof and the writers. If you want to see that conversation now that it's already past being live, you could join as a member at YouTube. It's 99 cents. You get elongated, full bonus streams with bonus content in it. And you also get a monthly members-only stream, which I did last week, which I talked about something Lanterns related. I already forget. But yeah, check it out. You'll get a customized emojis. I now have a chip emoji, which I took the squirrel emoji and, like, suited them up. And you also get badges next to your name and stuff. And then, you know, live streams and all that stuff. So check that out.
For those that don't know, again, every episode, Ralph has a bonus section that he'll put at the end of those. So if you miss it, you can go back and watch these later, and there will be a chunk of extra content, 15, 20 minutes, every single video that I've been able to catch.
Yeah, so this week, actually, we did it at the beginning. So I'll throw them. I'll do them whenever. And then if you watch them later, you'll see the little bonus live stream tag on the top corner, and you'll know what point of the show is different than what everyone else got. It's kind of nice. A thing that sort of came out of, like, I don't know, me and Vactor were talking about. I just started Riverside, and I was trying to figure out how to do videos the old way, where I started with an intro video. And we just went right into the live stream, and that just lived up there for everybody. And then through the course of that episode, I'm like, you know what? I could just make this full live stream for members and then do a cut down video version for everybody else. And it seems to be working great. A lot of people are coming over and checking out the the Honor Guard memberships here on YouTube. So I think it's a lot of fun. 99 cents. I mean, you can't get anything for 99 cents.
Not anymore.
I don't even know if you can get like I don't like Tootsie Pops. Maybe you could get a couple.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, literally 99 cents a month, like you're getting. And the thing is, what's great is you get everything before too. Like as soon as you do the 99 cents, you get my last 6 live streams over the course of the last 6 months, like completely available.
Again,
member only live streams.
That bonus content, you'll be able to go back and catch up on all that now.
Yeah. So, Hell on Earth. Hell on Earth was the live members live stream I did last week or the week before, where I was talking about how people were bitching and moaning that Lanterns was takes place on Earth, where almost every single run of Green Lantern comics starts on Earth, including Grant Morrison's. So go check out that stream. It's a lot of fun. So anyone who has any issues with the way Lanterns is taking place on Earth, you got to let the normies ease into this Green Lantern mythos. You have to.
What I've been trying not to argue, but just point out to people is, especially on X, and maybe I should just get off there, but if your take is that the stories that we have, the comic books that we have, don't show physical costumes, or the comics that we have don't take place on Earth, and that they're supposed to be spacebound because that's what Green Lanterns are. Just about every breakdown I did of like Lanterns fact or fiction, if you want to say the story doesn't do that thing, or they don't pass off rings between each other, or share a ring, or transfer a ring while somebody's still alive, all that happens in the books. If you want to say it's just your preference, you would prefer the show to just be like 90% outer space and 10% on Earth. That's your preference. I'm not going to argue with you. But if you tell me they don't do this in the comics, that's when I step in and say, hey, you're wrong. There's a bunch of issues. And then even when I make these videos and point them out, I have all these other people chime in, and they're like, oh yeah, this issue of Green Lantern Corps, they handed off a ring in between 2 characters, and then these people, you know, they retired and walked off into the sunset on these issues, and all these other things have happened. Like, other people chime in with more and more and more examples. So again, if it's your preference to have Hal not ever be old, so we're getting him at his peak, fine. But if you want to say...
That's when I started reading Hal in 1990.
We don't have these stories where Hal's old. We do. Do we have stories where Hal has ever retired and stepped away from being a Green Lantern and passed his ring down, literally to John Stewart? We do.
Right.
It's just your preference. Hey, that's whatever. But we do have the books that debunk a lot of those things.
The only thing I couldn't figure out in the trailer that didn't make sense was John asks Hal, do you talk to the other Lanterns? And Hal says, I'm the only one, they're aliens. Now, he doesn't say I'm the only Green Lantern.
Correct.
So my theory is the reason why Hal wasn't in Man of Tomorrow, or it wasn't in Superman, is because he wasn't on Earth. I think Hal's been off Earth. I think Hal's an honor guard, and he's the only human honor guard, and he doesn't really talk to the other Lanterns.
I think Mark over at LanternCast, one of the 2 hosts over there, I think he mentioned when we were trying to break down like the different things that we saw in the trailer and just go over the facts and not have opinions. The way that conversation takes place and the way that it's cut, it's very possible. Cut. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but it could be John asking him about a specific problem that they're having on Earth, and the reason Hal's like, they're aliens, I'm the only human, and one of them's a squirrel. It could be talking about a very human type of issue that they're having, where he might feel it's not necessary to talk to another Lantern, like Mogo, because the problem that they're having isn't something that he would probably understand. He wouldn't have gone through this. This is like very specific to Earth type thing.
Yeah.
It could be a scenario like that, but also I think a lot of the conversation that's being dubbed into the trailer isn't like the flow of the conversation for everything we're seeing on screen. And that's where people are getting,
it's cut down to be a punchy joke.
Mm-hmm.
like a funny line. Here's the thing. Today I saw this the Japanese reel that they posted on Instagram of the trailer, and it's basically all the same footage. I will say the very, very end of it, you get more of the green coming out of the ring than you do in the regular trailer. I don't know if that's an after effect they did just for the Instagram post, but they cut up the dialogue in that. Yeah. Between the conversation where John talks about how he does it better, and Hal's like, you're not taking this, I'm not giving up this job sport or whatever he says. So like things can get cut and manipulated. It's fine. We're so close, dude. We're almost in May, June, July, August. Like almost 3 months away?
Yeah. We're, we got like another week and a couple days of being in April, and then May, June, July, we have San Diego Comic-Con. Maybe something will be there, and then August is when the show's coming out. You don't have the day yet, but we know it's going to be in August.
Right.
And we don't know what they're doing in terms of, like, sometimes shows come out and they drop a couple episodes at one time. I think all the DC stuff has been just the initial episode, and they just do them one per week. It's not like all the other networks where Netflix is like, here's everything. Apple's like, here's the first 2 or 3 episodes, and Prime does it the same, first 2 or 3 for the first season. And then usually after that, it's like one, or I don't know. They do it, they switch it up depending on what show it is.
Yeah. I'm excited for it.
Getting closer and closer to Comic-Con, and I'm really hoping that they show something off that's pretty cool there.
Yeah. I'm hoping I'm in the room. I really am.
Yeah,
I'll have to figure it out. There's some stuff I need to sort out, but I feel like with my work, I'll just tell them, well, I know I won't be there Thursday if we do the Lost panel, but, if TV is usually on Fridays and movies are on Saturdays, then hopefully Lanterns will be on Friday, and I'll find a place to stay, and I'll be in line for that for sure. Yeah. I'll sweat up this hat.
Got to. Yeah. Got to bring everybody the coverage, too.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, let's get into Green Lantern 34, an issue that I'm not too keen on.
I'll say this, the only real issue I had with the issue is as you get further into the issue, it just seemed like the art was, for me, it just wasn't there. Like, especially the look, once we get to like Hal's portion of it, especially, just the way that he's originally shown in like his first panel, he like doesn't really have a face, and it's just like a couple scribbles for a beard.
Yeah, I thought he had a big beard.
Yeah, like the hair is weird, and then when we get to close-ups of him, I can't remember what the character is, but it's like a Pixar character up-close face that they're showing for Hal, and it's, I don't know, it's just, it doesn't look like the Hal that I'm used to, and then even a couple panels later, he looks more like a Hal that I'm used to, but it just seemed kind of like the art was all over the place, even with Odyssey.
There's 2 artists.
From the coloring standpoint, at one point when she's looking sideways, they have her eyes more black or brown. But then if she looks towards where the viewer would be reading the issue, they make her eyes more green. But then there's a spot where she's leaning, she's looking at the thing, and then her eyes are back to being like brown. Like it just felt like it was kind of
inconsistent.
It's very inconsistent, is what I'll say. And I normally never complain about the art or the coloring, but even like towards the end when this dude's writing a check, the art for Kyle isn't there for me. And then the next panel has Hal, and he's got like this weird like pushed out pin, like it's I don't know, something from like Primal or one of those animated shows. It gets weird at times, his faces, and it doesn't look like the Hal from previous issues. I don't know. It's kind of all over there. From a story standpoint, Kyle's story is more slow. It's like the day-to-day life of him struggling to find regular work out in L.A., and he's having this conversation with Odyssey where he's telling her, we need money, but he doesn't want her to steal. or anything like that. So she's like, well, then we got to find regular work and these doodles that you got to do. You just got to put yourself out there and try to go get a job. And it's also the day-to-day of him being a Green Lantern where, a villain shows up that they're titling as Gridlock, which makes sense for where they are in the world.
Right,
and
on the freeway.
How bad traffic would be there even without him being there. And how Kyle has to kind of go through this checklist of things that he's trying to do to take down the baddie and get him back to the science cells and fight him. And, things aren't working at first. And then he, is finally like, okay, I'm just going to hit this thing super hard and see how it goes. But it's just kind of giving you, this is the starting point for Kyle on Earth. He shouldn't be facing, the big bad that's going to be 20 issues from now or whatever it's going to be right now. It should be showing you, the starting point, which I do like that. And then on the flip side for Hal, we're still trying to get towards for me, it's the finale of Hal's stuff with Krona and the Wonder Twins and all that. We're still working towards getting that. And I want that portion of the story, personally, to get to its end so that I can just have more pages of Kyle, and then we can give him bigger things to do.
I'm in the same boat. That story, it was almost half and half. It's almost half and half time spent. I'll tell you this: they are on Hollywood Boulevard, and this cross street is not correct. That should be, I think, Highland or Western. But they're driving on Hollywood Boulevard, and that cross street should be something else. Also, no Flash. I still am not keen on these. Kyle's non-white eyes, which made me happy on this
page. The issue, he did have.
He's got the white eyes, and I know that the creator of the suit, David. Yeah. Right, is David. He was saying that it's basically up to the individual artists.
Yeah. But his plan was, when he made this, it would give them the option to do white eyes or regular eyes. And it would ideally be, it's his regular eyes when he's on Earth and he's not worried about an enemy or somebody getting his identity that shouldn't have it. And then it would go white eyes when he's either in fight, in danger, in space, or if he wants to hide himself from the people around.
So the artist is Iguara and Montos. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure who did what. I'm assuming one took duties on the Kyle story and the other on Hal's. Yeah, that makes sense. But I actually dig this page a lot. But it is very, very different art than we're used to. But
this one I didn't have any issues with. Even the next few panels and stuff as Kyle makes his big teddy bear and then he's got the guns coming out. All that I'm still fine with.
I think in issue 600, I really liked V. Ken Marion's story because I think Kyle lends himself to a less traditional art style and more anime.
Yes.
And I kind of like that. Mm-hmm. So I think for this, there is a little bit of stylization to this page. Maybe there is inconsistencies, but I mean, all this stuff is kind of fun.
Yeah, I had no issues with this. I think the first panel that I had any sort of issue with was.
So this page looks like a different artist than that first page. So maybe they're both. I don't know. You know what? I need to reach out to these guys. I'd like to get some artists on this channel and just talk to them about the art and doing the art.
Yeah.
I know
how decisions are made on what they're coming up with. Yeah.
This kind of made
I think I didn't have any issues until we got to the Hal stuff. I like that panel. I like that part of the story too, where Kyle's taking a moment to really assess what's working and what's not working with this guy, and then he's like, I mean, did we need the helicopter guy to narrate what's going on for us? Maybe
it's kind of fun.
It felt very baseball-y to me, and Kyle has had a recent run of baseball moments, so I did enjoy that, and I did think that it was fun. I think that's just another thing that kind of plays into it.
It reminded me of the Green Lantern, the animated series episode with Guy.
Yeah. I just watched that a couple weeks ago.
Where the helicopter is following the action and they're all excited about Guy Gardner.
Yeah. Are you able to pull up the first panels when we get to Hal? It's like the first 3 pages really stick out to me.
Yeah. I just didn't want to share. I can scroll through the whole book, but I don't want to have that on YouTube.
Yeah,
I want to pick and choose like just a couple pages per episode so that DC doesn't come after me.
You don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like this page
this is very...
immediately, panel 1, he has like no face up there. You just kind of see the beard and his hair's almost reddish.
He looks like Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I felt it was very Star Wars-y or like a Western. And then... Yeah, even like that panel where he's getting hit to the side there, yanked off, like, it doesn't look like Hal to me. And then if you were to get to the very next page, there's a shot where it's his face coming forward. That second panel.
He looks like Mr. Incredible.
Yeah, that's what it is. I was like, it's a Pixar thing. I just couldn't put a name to it. But
it's very dynamic, and I think it doesn't fit Hal. I think something like this would fit Kyle if it's more like stylized.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great art.
It felt like
it just doesn't feel like Hal to me.
It's... If I look at issue 600...
This is great.
And then I look at this, it feels like different Hals. And like maybe that's what they're going for. Like this was a reset. You know, after 600, we're putting these other artists on it or whatever, and this is the direction. And I'm not saying like it's bad, but it's not what I'm used to. So yeah, it's like something I notice, and I never really negatively talk about the art, and I don't like want that to be my takeaway. But it's just very different than what I'm used to seeing for Hal. So it's something that, like, as I'm reading, I look at that face and I'm like, doesn't look a whole lot like Hal to me.
It's man, I'm gonna pop up one more page. Because this, it just I'm with you on this.
I'm sure it'll be fine. I mean, I've seen other channels share like 90% of a comic book in that.
I don't want to be that, though.
That's a completely different Hal Jordan that we're looking at right here.
I don't know who that is.
It's like we are noticing like 3 different Hal Jordans in this one issue is what that looks like. But then, again, as you don't want to show more pages, I get that. Definitely don't want to get in trouble. But like even when we get to... trying to see where this page is, like 2 up from this one with Odyssey and Kyle, that doesn't look like Kyle to me. Like, it's a very different look. Like, I get it because Odyssey's there, so it's easy for me to go, well, that's Kyle, that's Odyssey, and this is the dude who's trying to sign her to a contract or whatever to fill in for a movie because his star left for, like, one of those tentpole Marvel DC movies. But it just doesn't look like the Kyle to me at that point. Like, that's a completely different person than what we saw in the first half of the comic.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a mask does make all the difference, but that panel, like, bottom left up
very
one,
expressive,
where he's looking at the paper saying, like that. I don't know, that face, the hair matches, but the face looks
like
very
Q from
different.
Practical Jokers.
Yeah, like it's kind of all over the place. Like you said, it seems a little bit inconsistent. And I feel like maybe that, without trying to do it that way, maybe I'm taking away some points in the story, or the art taking me out of the story a little bit, because now I'm thinking about it instead of just going panel to panel, page to page, taking in the story.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just felt like I'm scrolling right now, and I'm just like, that's at least 3 different Hal Jordans in this issue, for sure. And then the ending?
So let me ask you a question real quick before we get to that ending, because does Hal not have his ring?
Oh, don't tell me that.
I'm looking at every single panel of this issue, and I don't see a ring on any of these images.
Yeah, I'm trying to make mine a little bit bigger right now, but...
Did I miss something? Because the one where the red... There's a Guardian with that's in red, the Red Lantern Guardian. smacks Hal, you definitely see he doesn't have a ring.
Yeah, I'm looking
That's
at
not something happened in a story, right?
No, he didn't lose his ring in any of this. Unless he lost it after he got teleported, and they didn't mention it because maybe he didn't notice it. But then if he lost it,
he would have noticed it.
How's he still
and
have
also
the suit
how
on?
like the ring makes the suit, so how dare him not? Is the suit in the closet?
He's talking throughout this issue about needing the ring to recharge. Was that him or was that? No, that was Kyle talking about needing the ring to recharge. Because he had like that thought bubble where he's like,
"Did I miss something?" Because Kyle, when he's in his plain clothes, has his ring at all times. So the artist didn't forget to draw rings.
Yeah, it looks like Hal just doesn't need a ring anymore.
I don't remember that being in any story. So again, is this Krona? Is this Krona the whole time?
And his face is starting to get better. I don't know, because Jan from the Wonder Twins wouldn't be... She would know if he got swapped out. Yeah.
Because she's flying him around. So he doesn't have a ring. But I don't remember Hal losing a ring.
I don't either.
People, anybody out there listening to this, mention it in the comics or in the comments, because I don't remember reading about Hal losing his ring.
I don't think he lost his ring, man.
But why is she flying him around as a pterodactyl?
And again, he's still in his Green Lantern outfit, which I'm assuming
he probably got out of a closet.
Yeah. I assume that it's...
Oh, no.
It's not a physical suit, is it? It can't be. I'm trying to scroll through the previous issue and see if I can find some spot towards the end with Hal where he's like, yeah, for some reason I had to give up the ring.
Like, I see pages where it's like, oh, they left it out in a panel. But there isn't Hal doesn't have a ring on any single one of the images in the book.
It's his backstory stuff I'm scrolling through. Then I see images where he's totally wearing his ring.
Okay, so
scrolling more. I'm getting towards
weird.
The end.
What did we miss? Is it story-based stuff? Is it going to be like the Interceptor flying backwards and Jeremy Adams saying, "Just leave it in. We'll figure it out later. There's something I have planned."
I don't.
But
think
it's
so.
noticeable.
I don't
Something's
think so.
up.
Because even those moments, while we're going over them on Lanterns Live, we're like, I wonder if this is there's a story reason for it, and it could be this, and like you were figuring it out really accurately as it was happening. But even I had theories for why it could be like that, and yeah, last
is it going to be like? Is it going to be like one of those classic movie twists where when you rewatch it again, you then notice it?
I don't think so. I think
is this going to be like Fight Club or Sixth Sense or
Hal's having that memory of getting the ring, and then he's got the suit coming on for the first time, and he's putting it on, and then in the next panel he's wearing it. And then we get to this issue. I have no idea where he could have dropped it, lost it, whatever. Maybe, I don't know, maybe for some reason he's wearing it under the gloves. I don't know, but I don't see an outline for a ring.
Right.
That's crazy.
I remember looking at Aaron Pierre's pockets.
Yes.
At that one picture and seeing if maybe the ring is just in his pocket. Like I was looking for an outline.
Yep.
Which I didn't see. But okay, so is Jeremy Adams just trying to trick us?
I don't think so.
Like something coming up. You can't forget the ring in every single panel. It's
possible if they've already done the next issue or two, and then they look at them and they see, hey, we don't have the ring on. Yeah, I'm scrolling through and Kyle, every one with Kyle, if they show his hands, he's got the ring on.
And even when he's not in the uniform.
Yes, yeah, even as just regular old. And it was Kyle who had the debate. He was like, I could go White Lantern but then I'd be out of juice for a while, and from this height I would fall, probably die.
Right.
So I'm not going to do that. Which we didn't even talk about that, but I think that's another cool thing for Kyle, that he recognizes he's got like this Super Saiyan mode that he can keep tucked in his pocket, but he's experienced enough now, hence the stubble and all that, that he knows that it wouldn't be a good idea for him to use that power. Let's save it for when we actually need it and don't just
when's that
use
gonna
it
happen?
every time. Yeah, because
that's exciting to know that's always back there.
If you're bringing it up now, at some point in the story, we're going to have to use it. And I hope it's VK Marion who gets those pages to draw, because it suits that so much, like having that Super Saiyan type transition into a White Lantern. I wondered though, like, can he only go from green all the way to white, or can he tap into the other ones?
So like pink and stuff?
Yeah, like if he needed rage for whatever reason, would he be able to, or does he just, the only one he can go to is white?
I mean, he became white because he was able to wield them all. And remember, at the beginning of this run, he was like in that fetal position and he was swirling all colors.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling he may be able to tap into that stuff.
Yeah, and it's just me as like a action figure collector guy in me that I'd love to see, even if it's just, for a couple panels of one issue, what a Red Lantern Kyle looks like. Or, show him off his...
Dude, his crab mask would look all like heavy metal and stuff. It would look rad.
Just seeing the different looks that they can have with that, and then playing with the different logos that would be on the chest and the glow from that could come off. Like, there's a lot of things that I think from a story standpoint that could be cool to use, and then from an artist standpoint and a colorist, being able to tap into all that is really awesome if that's in their play box that they're allowed to, experiment with.
Yeah.
Tell me, who is this? Again, I took a break from comics for a while and then came back, and I mostly stuck to just GL stuff. Who is Toby Y2K?
I had to Google it. And
I hadn't.
The only thing that came up was this clothing company named Toby, spelled the same way, Tobi, and they had like Y2K pants, which was like a sort of late 90s bell-bottom flared pants. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. Is it the only thing I could think of? Yeah.
In the little next, it's a Superman symbol, and he's referred to as the last son of Earth, and they always have that son of Krypton type thing. So he's wearing red and blue. So he's got to be super based. But I have no idea who this character is. So when we get to this next issue of The Doctor is Skin and Who Are the Keepers, this is going to be like completely new ground for me.
Toby, Tobi, Y2K, the last son of Earth.
Yeah.
Assuming from the future, right? But, I mean, Y2K...
Y2K. It's been the best now.
What Y2K? Year 2000, 2K, I don't know. I have no idea. The last son of Earth. And I'm here to rescue you. I'm assuming... And the Doctor is Skin. The Doctor is skin. And Who Are the Keepers?
Which that
I don't know what
be,
the hell this is.
That could be the play on words with The Doctor is Skin could be something to do with Krona, who has had his skin sort of melting. Maybe there's something that happens, or he goes and finally meets with somebody who can kind of fix his look to make him look completely like Hal, so you can't tell the difference between the two, so he can further his mission or whatever. Or I'm not sure. But also
I feel like Jeremy Adams created this dude and is treating it like it's someone we should know, so we have this conversation.
And we've had a super person around Kyle in Khan. Where's he?
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe this will bring him back out, and then we'll have our trio of heroes back together. But yeah, this is... If people know in the comments, or if people want to tag me in socials about who Toby Y2K is,
right?
Please.
Hal doesn't even know, though. Hal doesn't even know who he is.
I'm going to try to, whoever you are, who just pulled him away from the Guardians who were trying to now kill Hal Jordan, is completely new. As far as I know. I'm going to have to go to... Oh, God, I can't remember the website because it's been so long since I've been back around and been back home. The website I use to look up all my comics and get my this is what's coming out in 4 months from now and 3 months.
Oh,
the League of Comic Geeks.
League of Comic Geeks, yep.
Let me see right now. When
I typed in Toby Y2K, also it did a search. It did a thing that was someone talking about this issue today and being like, who is this guy?
Okay, so it's not just me.
So I think I think it's Jeremy Adams messing with us. Making us do all the Google searches.
Dang. I'm a sucker for it, so I am going to do all the Google searches. I'm going to have to go through Jeremy's history now. Try to figure out what's going on here. 31. Sometimes they put the characters on the side. What issue are we in?
34.
34.
Toby Y2K. And the spelling is weirdly specific. And they created their own logo for him. We should know.
Green Lantern 34. I was looking up 31 for some reason.
Should I just show should I share the screen and show Toby Y2K?
Yeah, nobody's going to know who he is. This issue did not get a great rating on League of Comic Geeks.
I didn't care for it that much. I mean, I understand that the whole thing is Kyle being Earth-based, kind of throwing back to the 90s. But I found a story kind of a little more boring. I thought Gridlock was kind of boring. The fight would look like it was, something I've seen a bunch. There's really nothing to it.
It doesn't list the character on, they show, these are the main characters in this issue, Jaina, Odyssey, Kyle Rayner, Hal Jordan, and sometimes they'll have the other ones there too. Toby Y2K is not on there, so I can't click it and figure out, maybe somebody else, or maybe he popped up in somebody else's run, and somebody would know. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Any questions? No idea.
It'll just be, who is this guy? Well, I guess we're all going to find out exactly.
Next month, yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't even have him listed in here.
It was a weird issue for me. It was a really weird issue for me. I don't really care about all the agent stuff and the casting agent and I understand they're trying to get money and they're trying to live, but I kind of wish there would just be a more juicier Kyle story, and that the book wasn't just basically split in half between the two stories. Listen, I'm not a Hal hater, but yeah. I'm not saying we're promised, but everything's been leading to, hey, the book is going to become Kyle's again. And maybe they're easing us into that, but I'm ready for it to be like Kyle's book, and I'm ready to have really, really good, fun Kyle stories. And the agent stuff wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, maybe we will get to a point where, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give, I don't know, spoilers for what's coming up. I can just see what's listed.
I know that Green Lantern Corps, there's a Green Lantern Corps book coming up where the cover is freaking awesome. I'm looking forward to that. Did you see that with the Red Lantern Aya?
No, but that sounds so sick.
Dude,
I was looking through, if you're on League of Comic Geeks and you look at, if you just scroll, it'll show you who are supposed to be the main characters of these issues. And Hal was featured in this one, but when I look up the next 3 issues, it's Kyle and another person, Kyle and another person, Kyle and another person. Hal's not on there, so maybe we are getting more Kyle-centric, 75 to 90% of the pages, or maybe all of them, for at least the next few issues. I'm not sure.
I don't know which one it was. But Morgan Hampton on his stories today said it was the last day to like get Green Lantern. I forget Green Lantern Corps which number it was. Today's the last day to pre-order. And
yeah,
if you go check that out, it's like a Red Lantern Aya in the brain of Green Lantern Aya.
Oh, you know what? I think you posted that to Threads. Let me look.
It's awesome. This is all very riveting.
That's where I said pre-ordered. And the cover says, "Behold the Manhunter Queen."
Green Lantern Corps 16. Let me see if I can bring that up.
Her story right now, I'm sure you're covering that with Vactor, but their story for the Green Lantern Corps is kind of crazy with what they've got going on with her.
Yeah, I'm eating it up. Okay, I'm gonna pop this open so everyone can see it. And the covers never really tell the exact stories, but because obviously Flash wasn't in this one, so I don't know if this is a spoiler or not. But it's awesome. It's
some of the upcoming covers for Green Lantern have Kyle's uniform not the same as what it is now.
Yeah. See how rad that is.
Yeah, Aya's been a good surprise.
Oh, I guess she's not a Red Lantern. She's a Manhunter.
Well, it makes sense for where that story is currently headed.
Yeah. Yeah. And I brought this up with Vactor too. This box up here with Jessica and John is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that they added this. That's really cool. But yeah, this page is awesome. So I'm excited about that. I'll talk about that, I guess, in a couple weeks with Vactor. Yeah. Cool, dude. I don't think I have much more to say about the book. I mean, I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
It was just
issue. Yeah. I'm happy to read. I still get entertainment and enjoyment out of it. I just had, for Kyle's portion of it, it's slower because they're kind of easing us into it. And from an art standpoint, there were things that stood out to us that you kind of question. Mm-hmm. But I'm still looking forward to the next issue.
Yeah, me as well. All right, dude. You want to do some plugs where people can find you?
Yeah, if you just head to greenlanternspodcast.com, you will be able to click all the links at the top to go to whatever social media you enjoy. You can find me there. And if you're looking for my videos, they're here on YouTube as well as Spotify podcast. And hopefully soon we'll figure out how to put the video on Apple Podcasts too. Kind of going from there.
Cool. Sounds good. Everybody, thanks for joining me. Consider getting a hat and joining as an honor guard here on YouTube. You're going to get a lot of fun stuff, including the bonus stuff we talked about at the beginning, which is the writer's room and the credits for Lanterns. So that's a lot of fun. And if you don't want to drop the 99 cents, go check out Will's video on that coming very soon. So until next time, beware of my podcast. It's Lanterns Live. Bye.